Bedtime Stories for My Sister Juniper. Rikki, Tikki, Tavi, Part 3 by Rudyard Kipling. When morning came, he was very stiff, well pleased with his doings. Now I have Nagaina to settle with, and she will be worse than 5 nags, and there's no knowing when the eggs she spoke of will hatch. Goodness, I must go and see Darzie, he said. Without waiting for breakfast, Rikki Tikki ran down to the thorn bush where Darzie was singing a song of triumph at the top of his voice. The news of Nag's death was all over the garden, for the sweeper had thrown the body on the rubbish heap. "Oh, you stupid tuft of feathers," said Rikki Tikki angrily. "Is this the time to sing?" "Nag is dead, is dead, is dead," sang Darzie. "The valiant Rikki Tikki caught him by the head and held fast. The big man brought the bang stick, and Nag fell in 2 pieces. He will never eat my babies again." "All that's true enough, but where's Nagaina?" said Rikki Tikki, looking carefully round him. "Nagaina came to the bathroom sluice and called for Nag," Darzie went on, "and Nag came out on the end of a stick. The sweeper picked him up on the end of a stick and threw him on the rubbish heap. Let us sing about the great, the red-eyed Rikki Tikki." And Darzie felt his throat and sang. "If I could get up to your nest, I'd roll all your babies out," said Rikki Tikki. "You don't know when to do the right thing at the right time. You're safe enough in your nest there, but it's war for me down here. Stop singing a minute, Darzie." "For the great, the beautiful Rikki Tikki's sake, I will stop," said the Darzie. "What is it, O killer of the terrible Nag? Where is Nagaina for the 3rd time?" "On the rubbish heap by the stables, mourning for Nag. Great is Rikki Tikki with the white teeth." "Bother my white teeth. Have you ever heard where she keeps her eggs?" "In the melon bed, the one on the end nearest the wall where the sun strikes nearly all day. She hid them 3 weeks ago." "And you never thought it worth while to tell me the end nearest the wall, you said? Rikki Tikki, you are not going to eat her eggs?" "Not eat, exactly, no. Darzie, if you have a grain of sense, you will fly off to the stables and pretend your wing is broken, and let Nagaina chase you away to this bush. I must get to the melon bed, and if I went there now, she'd see me." Darzie was a feather-brained little fellow who never could hold more than one idea in time in his head, and just because he knew that Nagaina's children were born in eggs like his own, he didn't think at first it was fair to kill them. But his wife was a sensible bird, and she knew that cobra's eggs meant young cobras later on, so she flew off from the nest and left Darzie to keep the babies warm and continue his song about the death of Nag. Darzie was very like a man in some ways. She fluttered in front of Nagaina by the rubbish heap and cried out, "Oh, my wing is broken! The boy in the house threw a stone at me and broke it." Then she fluttered more desperately than ever. Nagaina lifted up her head and hissed, "You warned Rikki Tikki when I would have killed him. Indeed and truly you've chosen a bad place to be lame in." Then she moved towards Darzie's wife, slipping along over the dust. "The boy broke it with a stone," shrieked Darzie's wife. "Well, it may be some consolation to you when you're dead to know that I shall settle accounts with the boy. My husband lies on the rubbish heap this morning, but before night the boy in the house will lie very still. What is the use of running away? I am sure to catch you, little fool. Look at me." Darzie's wife knew better than to do that, for a bird who looks at a snake's eyes gets so frightened that she cannot move. Darzie's wife fluttered on, piping sorrowfully and never leaving the ground, and Nagaina quickened her pace. Rikki Tikki heard them going up the path from the stables, and he raced for the end of the melon patch near the wall. There, in the warm litter about the melons, very cunningly hidden, he found 25 eggs, about the size of bantam's eggs, but with whitish skin instead of shell. "I was not a day too soon," he said, for he could see the baby cobras curled up inside the skin, and he knew the minute they were hatched they could each kill a man or a mongoose. He bit off the tops of the eggs as fast as he could, taking care to crush the young cobras, and turned over the litter from time to time to see whether he had missed any. At last there were only 3 eggs left, and Rikki Tikki began to chuckle to himself while he heard Darzie's wife screaming, "Rikki Tikki, I led Nagaina towards the house, and she has gone into the veranda. Oh, come quickly, she means killing." Rikki Tikki smashed 2 eggs and tumbled backward down the melon bed with the 3rd egg in his mouth and scuttled to the veranda as hard as he could put foot to the ground. Teddy and his mother and father were there at early breakfast, but Rikki Tikki saw they were not eating anything. They sat stone still and their faces were white. Nagina was coiled up on the matting by Teddy's chair within easy striking distance of Teddy's bare leg, and she was swaying to and fro, singing a song of triumph. "Son of the big man that killed Nag," she hissed, "stay still. I am not ready yet. Wait a little. Keep very still, all you 3. If you move, I strike. And if you do not move, I strike. Oh, foolish people who killed my Nag." Teddy's eyes were fixed upon his father, and all his father could do was whisper, "Sit still, Teddy, you mustn't move. Teddy, keep still." Then Rikki Tikki came up and cried, "Turn around, Nagina, turn and fight." "All in good time," said she, without moving her eyes. "I will settle my account with you presently. Look at your friends, Rikki Tikki. They are still and white. They are afraid. They dare not move. And if you come a step nearer, I strike." "Look at your eggs," said Rikki Tikki, "in the melon bed near the wall. Go and look, Nagina." The big snake turned half round and saw the egg on the veranda. "Ah, give it to me," she said. Rikki Tikki put his paws, one on each side of the egg, and his eyes were blood red. "What price for a snake's egg? For a young cobra? For a young king cobra? For the last, the very last of the brood. The ants are eating all the others down by the melon bed." Nagina spun clear round, forgetting everything for the sake of one egg. And Rikki Tikki saw Teddy's father shoot out a big hand, catch Teddy by the shoulder, and drag him across the little table with the teacups, safe and out of reach of Nagina. "Tricked, tricked, tricked," chuckled Rikki Tikki. "The boy is safe, and it was I that caught Nag by the hood last night in the bathroom." Then he began to jump up and down, all 4 feet together, his head close to the floor. He threw me to and fro, but he could not shake me off. He was dead before the big man blew him in 2. I did it. Rikki Tikki. Come on then, Nagina. Come and fight with me. You shall not be a widow long. Nagina saw that she had lost her chance of killing Teddy, and the egg lay between Rikki Tikki's paws. "Give me the egg, Rikki Tikki. Give me the last of my eggs, and I will go away and never come back," she said, lowering her hood. "Yes, you will go away, and you will never come back, for you will go to the rubbish heap with Nag. Fight, widow. The big man has gone for his gun. Fight!" Rikki Tikki was bounding all round Nagina, keeping just out of her stroke, his little eyes like hot coals. Nagina gathered herself together and flung out at him. Rikki Tikki jumped up and backward. Again and again and again she struck, and each time her head came with a whack on the matting of the veranda, and she gathered herself together like a watch spring. Then Rikki Tikki danced in a circle to get behind her, and Nagina spun round to keep her head to his head, so the rustle on her tail on the veranda sounded like dry winds blown along by the wind. He had forgotten the egg. It still lay on the veranda, and Nagina came nearer and nearer to it, until at last, while Rikki Tikki was drawing breath, she caught it in her mouth, turned to the veranda steps, and flew like an arrow down the path with Rikki Tikki behind her. When a cobra runs for her life, she goes like a whiplash flicked across a horse's neck. Rikki Tikki knew that he must catch her, or all the trouble would begin again. She headed straight for the long grass by the thorn bush, and as he was running, Rikki Tikki heard Darzee still singing his foolish little song of triumph. But Darzee's wife was wiser. She flew off her nest as Nagina came along and flapped her wings about Nagina's head. If Darzee had helped, they might have turned her, but Nagina only lowered her hood and went on. Still, the instant's delay brought Rikki Tikki up to her, and as she plunged into the rat hole where she and Nag used to live, his little white teeth were clenched on her tail, and he went down with her. And very few mongooses, however wise and old they may be, carry to follow a cobra into its hole. It was dark in the hole, and Rikki Tikki never knew when it might open up and give Nagina room to turn and strike at him. He held on savagely and struck out his feet to act as brakes on the dark slope of the hot, moist earth. Then the grass by the mouth of the hole stopped waving, and Darcy said, "It is all over with Rikki Tikki. We must sing his death song. Valiant Rikki Tikki is dead, for Nagina will surely kill him underground." So he sang a very mournful song that he made up on the spur of the minute, and just as he got to the most touching part, the grass quivered again, and Rikki Tikki, covered with dirt, dragged himself out of the hole leg by leg, licking his whiskers. Darzy stopped with a little shout. Rikki Tikki shook some of the dust out of his fur and sneezed. "It is all over," he said. "The widow will never come out again." And the red ants that live between the grass stems heard him and began to troop down one after another to see if he had spoken the truth. Rikki Tikki curled himself up in the grass and slept where he was, slept and slept until it was late in the afternoon, for he had done a hard day's work. "Now," he said when he awoke, "I will go back to the house. Tell the coppersmith, Darzee, and he will tell the garden that Nagaina is dead." The coppersmith is a bird who makes a noise exactly like the beating of a little hammer on a copper pot, and the reason he is always making it is because he is the town crier to every Indian garden and tells all the news to anybody that cares to listen. As Rikki Tikki went up the path, he heard his attention notes like a tiny dinner gong, and then the steady ding-dong lock. "Nag is dead, dong! Nagina is dead, ding-dong tock!" That set all the birds in the garden singing and the frogs croaking, for Nag and Nagina used to eat frogs as well as little birds. When Rikki got to the house, Teddy and Teddy's mother, she looked very white still, for she had been fainting, and Teddy's father came out and almost cried over him, and that night he ate all that was given to him till he could eat no more, and went to bed on Teddy's shoulder, where Teddy's mother saw him when she came in to look late at night. "He saved our lives and Teddy's life," she said to her husband. "Just think, he saved all our lives." Rikki Tikki woke with a jump, for all the mongooses are light sleepers. "Oh, it's you," said he. "What are you bothering for? All the cobras are dead, and if they weren't, I'm here." Rikki Tikki had a right to be proud of himself, but he did not grow too proud, and he kept that garden as a mongoose should keep it, with a tooth and jump and spring and bite, till never a cobra dared show its head inside the walls. Darzee's Chaunt, sung in honor of Rikki Tikki Taver. Singer and tailor am I, doubled the joys that I know, proud of my lilt through the sky, proud of the house that I sew. Over and under, so weave I my music, so weave I the house that I sew. Sing to your fledglings again, mother, oh lift up your head. Evil that plagued us is slain, death in the garden lies dead. Terror the hidden, the roses is impotent, flung on the dunghill and dead. Who hath delivered us? Who? Tell me his nest and his name. Rikki the valiant, the true, Tikki with eyeballs of flame. Tikki, the ivory-fanged, the hunter with eyeballs of flame. Give him the thanks of the birds, bowing with tail feathers spread. Praise him with nightingale words, nay, I will praise him instead. Here I will sing you the praise of the bottle-tailed Rikki with the eyeballs of red. Here Rikki Tikki interrupted, and the rest of the song is lost.